Hey, Shalom Markings of Karma Kapashim, Jim Islam, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakwadash. When I give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to hopeful elect, pushing in truth, not sincerity. Back again with another video. Just caught this article here, from the newsfeed update. And yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna call this shit, man, but you know, it's like here in the UK, government's gonna clamp down on antisocial behavior. Okay, which apparently includes people living rough on the streets, man, the poor, like the real damn bad, you know. And I just thought, does this make any sense? Like, I mean, before I read the article, I just saw the title, obviously, in it, and I was thinking this initially, and still, right, but they're willing to put 160 million in antisocial behavior clampdown, right? So they want to get man off the street, right? But in my mind, to start off with, rather than actually help these people, uh, get off the street and actually give them some sort of ability to do something for themselves, they'd rather spend 160 million just getting rid of them. But when I was reading through this article, man, they did well, so they say, right? They mentioned about uh, housing some of them and that. But let me get into this article anyway, and we'll discuss that in a minute, right? But yeah, they say they got money, man. They got money for, you know, they got money for things, man. And rather than putting it into like using it effectively, they just throw this money around and it disappears and do nothing. But anyway, let's just get into it, right? It says it's a nuisance, right? Begging targeted under Sunak's 160 million anti-social behavior clampdown, right? So, these men are down bad already, man, and they're not even allowed to beg. And we understand, man, because there's a lot of homeless people, where around where we at, and yes, it feels like a nuisance sometimes, but you can't, go to the store or go somewhere without feeling, pressured to by these people to give you something. But when you stop at the traffic lights and all this type of stuff, man, it is constant, man. You know, and I assume most people do find it a nuisance. It's true, man. But these men are poor and they're down bad, man. And got some sort of mercy, man. You know what I'm saying? These people are already suffering. But you know, you just want to throw them around, man. Just kick them out of play. Like, you can't be a get out, and all this kind of stuff, right? And then you got nowhere to go. Well, for some of them, right? Because they're gonna talk about something else. Okay, but anyway, let's get on with it, right? It says right. It says Rishi Sunak's anti-social behaviour clampdown will target beggars, causing a nuisance on the streets of Britain. The Prime Minister said 160 million plan will stamp out. These words, man, it just sounds it sounds aggressive. you know, so they're gonna stamp out anti-social behaviour once and for all. Man, they're gonna wipe them out. Right, as he pledged more police patrols and swifter punishments for those blighting communities. So they see these poor people as a blight on the communities, right? But this very government, but this demonic government, right, is a partial cause for that. You know, for the multitude of scams that people get caught by in this world, right? The lies that people believe about this world, and the societies that is created, you know, has led to some people, falling to the bottom. All right. Every time, government's taxing the hell out of you. Everything that you purchase, your income tax, you're getting taxed to hell, right? And some man can't afford it. Some man can't afford to keep their house and stuff like that. Some man get kicked out, and now they're on the streets, and they're partly to blame. Or those who that go fight in their armies and stuff like that, and shit don't work out when they come back because they're just messed up. Same in America, right? You got a whole bunch of homeless people out there that used to serve, and so Like, and these governments don't give a damn, right? So you don't know who these people are that are on the streets and what they've been through and whatever, man. And some of them, yeah, the scammers out there pretending to be this and that, but you know, this how this world is, how this Esau system is, man, is partly to cause, or it's to cause, for why these people are, down out there, man, right? This is so Sunak will use home country, sorry, Sunak will use a home counties visit on Monday to announce the UK government's antisocial behaviour action plan. According to the Department for Levelling Up, housing communities, police and local authorities will be given fresh powers to address people deemed to be imitating or causing distress. Imitating, lying, faking shit, right? Or causing distress, right? So law enforcement officers and council workers will be given the tools to handle people judged to be causing a nuisance on the street, which also include blocking shop doorways or begging at cash machines to health and social services. This includes helping them so that, they're going to throw in here, like, this could, right, include helping them to find accommodation or assistance with mental health, substance misuse issues, department official says. Right, so the debris and paraphernalia they leave behind will be cleared by authorities, the department pledged, in the effort to tidy up Britain's high streets and make them safer. All right, because people feel unsafe with these guys around, whatever. Part of the plan also includes making it an offence for criminal gangs to organise begging networks to make them extra cash. Now, this I find interesting because technically, then you're what you're putting out there is that any of these people that are begging out there, all right, could be connected to a criminal organization, right? So you're equating like begging to a criminal organization. I thought that was kind of mad, and maybe there is. I don't know, right? I don't know. And would a criminal organization be doing it? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, what goes for a criminal organization these days? I don't know, man. Because he's the biggest one, right? He's the biggest criminal on the planet. There's a whole bunch of organizations out there, man. I don't know. Maybe, right? But obviously, he's putting your mind, man. Like, don't help these people. This is his kingdom, right? And he's complaining about how they're sitting around doing, homeless and begging and stuff. He's complaining about them, but he's the reason why they're there, and but don't help them. Nobody help them because we ain't helping them. You ain't got, you don't help them either. Nobody help these people. This is so the department said that the networks are often used to facilitate illegal activities. Okay. So on addressing homelessness, ministers said they remain committed to repealing the antiquated Vagrancy Act, which was passed in the early 19th century. The legislation made it a crime to sleep rough or beg in England and Wales. So this system is set up against the poor. It simply is in any shape or fashion. So Esau ain't happy until you're out on the streets. Essentially, he's just breaking everybody down slowly, making you poorer and poorer and poorer. Why these assholes? Yes, you, Richie, as you are on the screen, right? and these other douchebags, right? They're getting richer, by the minute. They're getting richer, and they're separating themselves further and further away from you. Like I said, you're getting poorer and poorer until you own nothing, and not be so happy. Where you losing your jobs, losing your houses, losing everything, right? And until you're out on the fucking street. You know what I'm saying? But they make it a crime that you can't even sleep. Right? Where the fuck are you supposed to go then? What are you meant to do? These men don't want to help you. You can't help yourself. This system is really set up against the poor, man. All right. Shows you these people don't give a damn, right? It says ministers have said nobody should be criminalised for not having someone to live with. Well, yeah, of course not. The UK government consulted last year on how to replace the act. The plan to tackle homelessness and nuisance begging forms part of a package of measures aimed at stamping out antisocial behaviour, which is due to be unveiled by the Prime Minister on Monday. It also include piloting increased police patrols in trouble spots, banning the sale of laughing gas to the public. It's just a big thing right now. There was laughing gas shit everywhere. All these youngsters are doing it and shit. And making it easier for landlords to evict noisy and disruptive tenants. Now that would be an interesting one. you know, for these struggling landlords, right? That maybe are not getting their rent on time or not getting their rent at all because, you know, their renters are not getting, you know, getting paid or you know, because shit be going on, right? People losing jobs, like I said, you know, or you know, the interest rates on the landlords, you know, loans and stuff is going up, and you know, they need more money, or you know, and they're struggling, you know. So I wonder if, you know, the landlords having this ability, which, you know, landlords should have the ability to kick someone out, you know, if they're, you know, bad tenants or whatever. But I wonder if how many of them are use this as an excuse to, you know, kick tenants out. I wonder. We'll see. Um, you know, basically just, you know, lie on it. But so Sunak speaking. So Sunak speaking ahead of plans official unveiling said antisocial behaviour undermines the basic right of people to feel safe. The basic right to feel safe. Does anyone ever feel safe? You know, I don't know, man. That's a kind of ambiguous thing to say. But yeah, well, you know, what about people's right to own land and have a house and all this kind of stuff? You know, there's certain, you know, certain things that the Most High kind of like ordained man to sort of just have. But you're, you know, you elites and that WF are out here talking about you will own nothing. What about those rights? You know, do you care about people's rights really, or are you using that excuse to further agendas and that? You know, so there's a lot of BS in it, basically, man. But you know, it's just like I said, they got money to tackle, you know, to fight against the poor essentially. You know, rather than actually do something about it. You know, because imagine like I don't know how much poor people are out here in the UK. You know, I don't know the numbers, but you know, I'm sure 160 million could go quite far in sorting somebody out. You know, getting them a place to stay, or you know, fixing them up, having them have a bath and fix up, get a job, do something, man. You know, but these guys, they're just about, you know, looking pretty, yeah, looking pretty. That's all they care about, looking pretty. You know, just get the riffraff out of society. That's what they want. Just get them out of our neighborhoods. They're a nuisance. Yeah, what do you want them to do, man? Anyway, right. So let's just get the scriptures, man. Because you know this world, you know, these people, these assholes, they hate the poor. All right, they hate the poor. All right, they shouldn't be in a so-called first world, right? There shouldn't be poor people, man. You know, people shouldn't be struggling. People shouldn't be out on the streets, but they are. You know. Um, but Second James chapter 6 verse 2 says, "But ye have despised the poor." Right? Do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats, right? So these men are making legislations against these guys, and you can't. Well, it's been this way. You can't sleep rough. Okay, you can't be here. You can't be there, and you can't like fend for yourself. Because like they say, if you ain't you got no place to stay, you can't get paid, right? Because you need a bank account, right? And banks require you to have an address, right, and all that kind of stuff, right? And that's another thing that kind of goes into this whole CBDC thing as well. Banking the unbanked, you know, that's a whole thing as well. But you know, that's another video for another time. But you know, yeah, you need an address, man. So you can't go to work. Now you could do things cash in hand if you can find someone to employ you and do that. But generally, like, yeah, you're not getting paid. You can't just get a normal job and get paid, so you can go pay your rent. And you can't do that, right? It's not you know it's not set up for that, right? So the only way these men, you know, these people are making money is by begging, you know. But you know, you don't want them to beg. So what we gonna do here, you know? So yeah, they really despise the poor, man. And you know what it's like as well. I remember when Brazil, I think they were hosting. What was they hosting? Olympics or World Cup or something. And they had, because you know, Brazil's got full of poor people streets too, right? Obviously, right? And they just shifted them out, just moved them out. They just pushed them further out, and that's what these places do, man. They just push these people, further and further out of places. Kind of like a identification type thing, and just push them out further and further out. Make it illegal for them to be there, and have a heavy police presence so they can't be there. And that's all these people. That's what they're doing now, right? It's the same thing, right? It's Proverbs 10:15. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor is his poverty, right? So these people are already destroyed, man. They're already messed up, And whether you want to believe or trust that these men are really poor and really on the streets, and that's down to you, innit? But they're obviously putting into the minds of the people that, oh, yeah, it could be a criminal organization, so you don't want to get them no money, because there could be trafficking little girls somewhere. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't know what's going through these people's minds, man. But so the Proverbs 22:16, he that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want, right? And that's what these elites are doing right now. They're taking wealth, or if you can call it that, they're taking whatever you got, right, and increasing what they have. And that's why that wealth divide, it only grows larger, man, between the rich and the poor, because the rich are sucking the poor dry, right? And so I say that they're oppressing the people. Okay, and these kind of legislations just kind of show that. They're not even happy for this man to have his change, man. To have his cup of coffee or whatever he's got in his hand. They're not happy. Like, they don't want to have that. They'd rather you just disappear, right? Which is what you're probably gonna notice. Like, you're probably gonna start noticing, man, that these people are just gonna end up disappearing. Kind of like what is it? Is that in Soylent Green? Because these people are vulnerable, man. Like, if you've got no family and friends, and no one looking for them or whatever, these people can easily go missing. You know what I'm saying? They can be dealt with. Find themselves in the concentration camp somewhere, or being made into Soylent Green. You might just find out, where you usually would see homeless people and that, because this is going on, right? They're gonna plan to do this and move people out and stuff like that. They just go missing. You don't know what's happened to these people. You know what these men are actually doing with them. Processing them in some facility. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Right, so you might just find out these people just start going missing, man. This is Ecclesiastes Sirach, chapter 13, verse 20. It says, "As the proud hate humility, so doth the rich abhor the poor." Right? And I said, Rishi, he's thinking rich, man. Where's his face? Yeah, he's thinking rich, man. So he ain't got to care. He ain't got to be bothered. He just hates that, if you got beggars around, he just hates the fact that they're there. He don't care about. He could help them. He personally could help them. He has enough money, enough wealth to actually help that man. And this is another funny thing, right? And I was just thinking about when I was reading the article. We've got all this Ukraine shit going on, right? And Britain opened the doors to the Ukrainians. People opened their houses to hold refugees, right? And the government supporting them with money and all that kind of stuff. But these poor people on the streets in Britain, right? They don't get that treatment. There ain't no scheme for a poor man to, be supported by the government, living amongst another family, and they ain't no such fucking scheme. And ain't nobody opening fucking, the people that live here ain't opening no doors to no homeless person. But a bunch of foreigners that you don't know nothing about, that, the problem with Nazism and all that kind of stuff, right? You gotta open the doors to them, and the government gonna give money for them, but not the poor in their own country. I said they got money to throw around, man, but you know what I'm saying? Don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense. You can get all these poor people off the street, and I said you get so much immigration coming in now, and they're just setting up shop, man. All the Eastern Europeans, they got money. I don't know where it comes from. Maybe they're the illicit gangs that he's talking about. I don't know. But they open up shops everywhere. cafes and pool joints and restaurants and off licenses and like how how is it even they come with pretty much nothing, and yet they're able to do it like more than most people can in this country. I don't get it, right? And that's why Esau system is just messed up. It's fucked up, man. But this man, he got a beg and struggled to get a coffee. You know, why don't Rishi, come and see this man, right? Why don't you come and see this man? You know, kind of like take him under his wing, fix him up. You know what I mean? Fix him out, have a bath, trim and whatever, man. Put him in a suit and send him down, to open up his own fucking coffee shop, man, or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, but no, that's not gonna happen. Rishi ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, man, this world is mad. This is strange, man. There's a couple more, right? This is it's Sirach chapter 26, verse 28. It says that there be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry: a man of war that suffereth poverty. Right, and like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of men that that served in Esau's armies, right? Man, yeah, and them men on the street, especially in America, man. You hear about it a lot more in America than you do here. I mean, there's probably veterans and stuff here that but you hear a lot about it in America, and yeah, they out here serving their country, and the country don't give a shit. They don't give a damn. Okay, you be out there, man, but now you're just a fucking nuisance. You know what I'm saying? Now you're just a nuisance. They really don't want you around. You're stinking up the place. The men are not really trying to help you. And that's a dishonorable thing, man. That's horrible, man. You out here put your life on the line. Now you're all fucked up PTSD and all that shit, and now the man just left you out there. They don't care about your sacrifice. Not making sure that you're living the best that you can. Because you're always gonna be fucked up, innit? You're always gonna be messed up from what you went through and experienced and whatever. Because you shouldn't have been there, fighting all these fucking illegal, unrighteous wars and stuff, man. Yeah, it's gonna fuck you up. Losing friends, you know what I'm saying? Losing limbs and whatever, man. But now you're just on the street. No one cares about you. Like I say, if you went missing, no one, you know what I'm saying? But really, the government should look after you, man. Someone should be looking after you. All right. So there'll be two things that grieve my heart. The third maketh me angry: a man of war that suffereth poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin. And the Lord prepareth such a one for the sword. All right. So, I'll close it with this one. It's Sirach 29, verse 9. It says, help the poor for the commandment's sake, and turn him not away because of his poverty. All right. So, this goes into the brotherhood, because Scripture also tells you, man, to know who you do good to, man. All right. So you don't just give to any and everybody, because that wouldn't make any sense, right? We've got some wicked ass people right here, man, and it's not your duty to be helping everybody, because you can't, right? But the government itself, well, yeah, they're here to help, right? Supposedly, to help the citizens of their country. That's what they're supposed to be doing, right? But they don't like doing that, really, right? But it says, help the poor for the commandment's sake, and turn him not away because of his poverty. Use thy money for thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost, right? So your brother, speaking him in the truth now, right? You help when you can, and you help how you can, right? Don't withhold help, right? With money or whatever, man. Okay, So lay up the treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold, right? So you might, like I said, lend that money to a brother or whatever. You might never see that again. Like he might say, "Oh, I'll pay it back one day or whatever." And maybe he had good intentions. You know what I'm saying? He had good intentions, but he might not be able to fulfill what he intended to do. So count it lost. Don't don't badger a brother over such a thing when you know his situation, man. Because you doing that, look at it like an investment, innit? Like that money is lost, but it's been accounted with the Heavenly Father, you know. So we're not to withhold help just because we know about a situation, it's a bit down bad, and most likely not gonna ever see that money again or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you know we can't go around acting like that, like you know putting pressure on brothers that are not really in the best of situations. It's just not it's not right. You know. This is shut up arms in thy storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction. It shall fight for thee against thine enemies, right? So your goodwill, your good gesture, your charity, it will protect you, man, because it's a good work in the sight of the Lord. All right? It's worth more than the gold, because the money itself wasn't going to do that, right? You holding that money in the bank or under the pillow somewhere ain't going to defend you, right? But that charity that you provided, brother, the Lord sees that, right? And so in that time, the Lord will remember that, account that, and deliver you from danger and stuff like that, man. So it's worth more than the gold, or the money that you handed out. It says it shall fight for thee against thine enemies better than a mighty shield and a strong spear, because the Lord will be with you, right? An honest man is surety for his neighbor, but he that is impudent will forsake him. Forget not thy friendship of thy surety, for he have given his life for thee. So that's pretty much it. All right. But yeah, I just thought I'd cover that. Lord, it was an edifying video. I'll catch you guys. This is the next one. Okay, so until next time, I say shalom.